Shalom. Welcome. I'm just setting up my other conference call. Kind of waiting to get a little bit more people coming in. I'm still going over envy, characteristics of what it actually causes, and being envious and acting as such. Shabbat Shalom for all those that the Shabbat is in already. All praise and glory to the Most High Power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for another day closer to the kingdom. Another day for us to be able to get ourselves right with Him. Before we bring that judgment. There's a lot of things going on in the world. It's prophesied in the Bible. It's about to happen. I mean, we got to be ready. That's why we can't really afford to spend energy on envying someone or, taking your time and disliking someone to that point of, it's going to hurt you. And you're not going to be able to make it to the kingdom. Point blank. You're not going to the kingdom. And we're so close. Or we're so far apart. Either or, it doesn't matter. We still got to do what we could do while we have breath in our bodies to do the right things so we can make it to the kingdom. Everybody's not going to make it. Some people are not even really concerned about that. They're concerned about now, For real, that's what it's all about, just trying to do our best every day, get better and better. I guess that's why the Spirit had me on, this envy. A lot of people envy people for what I don't know. Makes no sense to me. We all supposed to have the same, conscience in trying to make it to the kingdom, and you can't be everywhere at one time. So if people are being able to be edified in New York. I can't be in New York, but I'm in Cali. Can you? Wherever you at, you can't be somewhere else. Somebody being edified. All praise to the Most High about something much like the other side that people are being edified. And roll with that. Love that. Instead of hating on people, dissecting. We got a common enemy. Or enemies, I might say. Common enemies. Here we are. Looking at that's at least knowing part and prophesying part, because something is true. We steady concentrating on banging on each other, man, banging on each other. You got enemies that's always plotting in a way that they can come after us. You know that? Or maybe you ain't had enough. Maybe you ain't in the work, you ain't in the work as such. But you got people that's plotting to come against us for bringing forth the truth, like they plotted to come against the Mashiach Yahushua. Everybody wasn't on the same page. And when they was on the page with the Pharisees, the scribes, the high chief high priests, and the Sadducees, and the Zealots, and all of them, they were all together, and they were mainly against the Mashiach Yahushua. That's why when people say, well, why everybody feel like this and y'all feel like that? Come on. Why Mashiach Yahushua felt like he felt? And when he taught, he had to run, even in the midst of people to try and get away, so they wouldn't kill him. But that makes sense now. That's your sweet Jesus that you see today, that y'all think, y'all don't really deal with him, all you have to deal with. Y'all the ones that was talking about crucifying, but let his blood be on us and on our children. And y'all the children of those that said that, a lot of you. That's why you got to look at this, we the people of the book, that's for sure. Speaking of that, let's go to Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefathers, the 12 tribes of Israel, for everything. We thank the Most High. All praise and glory to the Most High by Shama Mashiach Yahushua. And that's how we thank the Most High. That's how we praise the Most High in the name of the Lord and Savior. Speaking of that, let's go to Mark 15th chapter. Mark the 15th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 6. Check out the spirit, in the spirit, how it rolls. Now at the feast, he released unto them one prison. Right? This Mashiach was shy. Was getting ready to be crucified. Whomsoever they desired, they is the Israelites. The same ones that were against Mashiach Yahushua. The same ones, the leaders, these political leaders, religious leaders, that's our nation, that's hooked up with the Romans, like they hooked up with this system of things here in America. So they said, who do you want me to release? And there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection with him, right? Who had committed murder in the insurrection, killed people in the insurrection. Barabbas, a murderer. I mean, he in prison because he was rising up against, the Roman Empire. Said, and the multitude crying aloud began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But he's the president once a year. Now remember, this all during the Passover. But you only have these wicked Israelites and the people that's along with them that are always against us. We always have people, no matter when you read in the Bible, that side against us. And we're looking at that. We're going to see some of that within going into envy, because you're going to see that these other nations envy us just right along with so-called white man and everybody else. They always join together with against us, Not every last one, but you look, you have those that even our people, you know what I mean, went along with the system. That's who this is. Our people, the Israelites, that's going against the fact that Hamashiach Yahushua came for us. All the way from the Greek Empire, they'd rather be, doing what the Greeks did. They like their custom better than ours. Matter of fact, they went to wicked King Antiochus Epiphanes and desired a license to sin. That's in the Greek Empire. So you're looking at those wicked people had wicked children that they taught to be wicked, just like they were against being an Israelite. That's what we're looking at. These the people. All the way in the Roman Empire now. Just like a lot of y'all, that's dealing with Christian insanity. You following the same thing that your parents followed, that their parents followed, all the way back to slavery. You following the same thing. You just add a little twist here, a little twist there, that's it. These are the same people. And the multitude crying aloud, verse 8 of Mark, the 15th chapter. And the multitude crying aloud began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. That's release. Somebody that went to prison once a year at the feast. Remember, we at the Passover. That's when all this went down. This is before the evening, which will be the feast of unleavened bread. So it's the 14th day of the first month. The 15th day is the feast of unleavened bread. So everybody's at the dealing with their Passover at home, And it came together on the 15th to celebrate the release of us getting out of Egypt, being freed from the Egyptians. On the 15th. It hasn't happened yet. We're still in the Passover time. Verse 9 of Mark, the 15th chapter. But Pilate answered them, saying, ye that I release unto you the King of the Jews? You talk about Hamashiach Yahushua. He's calling the King of the Jews. Well, he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. See that? They envied Hamashiach Yahushua. And Pilate knew that they had delivered him to him because of their envy of Hamashiach Yahushua. Now, where do you see that? In these Christian churches. You don't see that. You don't see this to this extent in these secular churches, religions and so forth. You don't see that. Not in Christian sanity or Christian church. And I say that because it's insane when you realize, when you understand the truth, when you realize, man, and anyone that was indoctrinated with any religion, I don't care which one it was, any of you, and you start to really learn what this Bible is talking about, the in-depth of the topics and the spirit of the Most High that's running through here, and the secrets, the mysteries of the Most High, and the Mashiach Yahushua, and what he has brought in these last days, you have to know that you didn't know what you should know. What this Bible really talking about. And see, they envied the Mashiach Yahushua. And Pilate knew it. You know why? Why would he know? A lot of y'all wouldn't even pick this up because he's on the left-hand side. And the left-hand side recognized the left-hand side. Like birds and feathers flock together. He's from the left-hand side. And when you're negative, you're on the left-hand side, it's easy to accommodate the fact that you feel just like they feel. He know how you feel. That's why he knew. He knew that. But you got to understand Like when we're looking at these spirits that's in these people, like Saul hating David and Cain killing Abel, you know, and Eve allowing the devil to get into her mind and train her how she gonna go and deal with Adam, and Adam deceived too. But how does it work? You know what I mean? You have to understand these spirits that are on the left hand side. Why this envy comes into people? Why do you hold on to this? What is the problem? Where does it come from? So let me give you an example. That's how it works. That's why I say you have to stay positive. You have to stay, you have to find some way to be positive and not negative, where you can actually operate with the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Because when you go negative, if you want to, let me show you something. This is how this works. A lot of people don't understand how spiritually, we're going to go into the spirit right now. How do you wicked Israelites give them the choice? As he just said, you want to release the king of the Jews, talk about a Mashiach Yahushua. So now, let me show you how this works. Because we've been through, like I was saying, Eve and Adam. We went through Esau and Jacob. We went through Saul and David. Show you how this works. I want you to go to 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. The spiritual right there. That's why I say in John 4:24, it says, the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit. And mostly every time I say that to someone, they say, and it's true. Like, I don't know that. I'm the one that brought the scripture out. But I don't know that it says, and in truth. No, I stopped purposely for what it is that everybody pretty much commits. And that's in spirit. So give me some breakdowns of how you worship the Most High in spirit. The truth was coming, came next. It said in spirit first. Didn't it? They that worship him must worship him in spirit. And I stopped. And I look for instruction and directions. How you worship the Most High in spirit. We know that's the truth. We know that, class. We've been seeing that together, right? Psalms 119, 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth, right? So we know that. We know the commandments and the laws is the truth. But what about the spirit? Bing, bing, bing. People that really need to hear this, I mean, it's serious. You can leave it if you want to. I mean, this is real serious right here. So we look at that 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. You be negative if you want to. Walk around with some kind of grudge and some kind of envy if you want to. Listen. 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. Mark this. 2 Chronicles 18 and 18. And again, he said, therefore, hear the word of the Most High. It's the word of the Most High. Who we got to be in the spirit with, right? He said, I saw the Most High sitting upon his throne, and all the host of heavens standing on his right hand and on his left. So you got angels standing on the right hand, Most High sitting in his throne. You got angels standing on the right hand, and you got angels standing on the left hand, right? And the Most High said, who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? Fall means be put to death, die at Ramoth Gilead, right? And one spake saying after this matter, and another saying after that matter. So these angels are coming before the Most High, giving their account of how they can have King Ahab, the king of Israel, be put to death, right? So the ones on the right hand coming up giving their explanation, ones on the left hand coming up giving their explanation of how the plot that they have before the Most High, telling him, this is what I'll do. He like, nah, next, this is what I'll do. Next, this is what I'll do. Next, Second Chronicles 18 and 20. Then there came out a spirit. Oh, it's safe when you come to serve the Most High. Prepare. And I stopped there in Ecclesiastes 2 and 1. See, a lot of times we read the Bible too fast, especially when you study, and you got to slow it down. You got to slow down. You can't read the Bible like you went to school and Esau told you how to read this way instead of that. No, you can't read the Bible that way. Not in studying. Take your time. Like I said, prepare, it said. When you come to serve the Most High, it said, prepare. Ecclesiastes 2. Now stop there. Just like in St. John 4:24, the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit. I'll stop there. Right? Because it tells you in Ecclesiastes 2 and 1, when you come to serve the Most High, prepare. Right? You got to prepare. And the preparation is what you need to be looking at instead of going to what it is that you got to deal with when you come to serve the Most High. That most people don't understand because they look for the religion, just go there, happy go lucky, this, that, and the third, and just go home and don't know nothing, just go through your life like this and that's it. No. You got to work for this. You got to put in time with this to learn the mysteries and the things that the secrets of what works and don't work. It didn't work. You understand? Prepare yourself for the devil. When you come to serve the Most High, I said, prepare yourself for the devil. That's temptation. He's the tempter. That's what it's telling you. And constantly endure. You see? So here come a spirit, this is an angel, that came up before the Most High. In 2 Chronicles 18 and 20 said, then there came out a spirit. That's an angel. Tell you that in Psalms 104 and 4. He made his angel spirits. His ministers are the ones that bring forth what? The word of the Most High. Flaming fire. That fire is the word of the Most High. You see, we always been dealing with angels. We ain't dealing directly with the Most High. Come on. Listen. Then there came out a spirit and stood before the Most High and said, I will entice him. Right? And the Most High said unto him, well, what? In other words, how you going to do it? I'm just showing you spiritually how things work. Because people want to come up with their own explanation, just how it works. And he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. So I'm going to be a lying spirit in the mouth of all King Ahab's prophets. You hear that? So every last one of his prophets going to hear the same lie to tell King Ahab, because the result that the Most High want is what? That he be put to death at Ramoth Gilead. How he's going to do it, you're going to look. If you're looking, you can see. Listen very closely. And he said, I will go out, verse 21, and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Most High said, thou shalt entice him. So now what is the Most High giving him? The okay to go and entice King Ahab. And thou shalt also prevail. So you're going to get over. You're going to accomplish what it is that is needed to be done to kill King Ahab at Ramoth Gilead. King Ahab is, if y'all don't know, that's Jezebel's husband. Go out and do even so, right? So now it says, now therefore, behold, the Most High have put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, your prophets, and the Most High has spoken evil against thee. That's deep. I'll read it again. Now therefore, behold, the Most High have put a lying spirit. Did it say the devil? Satan? Talk to me. Because people want to say, you want to give him the glory of the Most High. No, we're going to give the Most High all the glory for everything. Now therefore, behold, the Most High have put a lying spirit in the mouth of these thy prophets, and the Most High has spoken evil against thee. Right? Then Zedekiah, the son of Shachanah, came near and smote Micaiah upon the cheek and said, which way went the spirit of the Most High from me to speak unto thee? I was back in the cheek. Say, which way did the spirit go? Of the Most High, which way did the spirit go from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, behold, thou shalt see on that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. Then the king of Israel said, take ye Micaiah and carry him back to Ammon, the governor of the city, and Joash, the king's son, and say, thus say the king, put this fellow into prison. See that? Put this fellow into prison and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I return in peace. Right? This big time King Ahab. And Micaiah said, if thou certainly return in peace, then have not the Most High spoken by me. He said, if you come back here in peace, he said, hey, the Most High ain't spoke to me. And he said, hearken, all you people, listen, all you people. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. So now, you understand, the kingdom was split. So that's why the king of Israel is King Ahab. That's the northern tribes, right? And the king of Judah is Jehoshaphat. That's the southern tribe, southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, predominantly, the rest of the tribes, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, they were of the northern tribes. It says, and the king of Israel said unto the Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself. So we're going to put on disguise. This King Ahab, the one that the Most High said he wanted to kill at Ramoth Gilead. He said, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself, and I will go to the battle and put thou on thy robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went to the battle. So he disguised himself like he wouldn't be the king. Anybody saying him, they wouldn't think he's the king, right? It's King Ahab. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying, fight ye not with small or great, stay only with the king of Israel. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat that they said, it is the king of Israel. Now, I want to bring something in because let me go back, let me show you, because it's very important that we see this, because you got to see how what was said in 1818, how it happened, because remember he said he's going to go down and lie to all his prophets that can go to Ramoth Gilead. You got to think that he's going to win, right? And so why he's doing Micaiah as he's doing, put him in prison and so forth. When you go back and look at 2 Chronicles 18 and 8, it said, and the king of Israel called for one of his officers and said, fetch quickly Micaiah the son of Imlah, and the king of Israel, and Jehoshaphat king of Judah, that's the king of Israel, that's the northern tribes, and king of Judah, that's the southern tribes. They're over the northern tribes and southern tribes. Sat either of them on his throne, clothed in their robes, right? And he sat in a void place at the entering into gate of Samaria. That's northern Israel. That's where Ephraim came from. And all the prophets prophesied before them. And all the prophets prophesied before them. Remember, the scheme was what? Y'all remember? If they go down, that spirit, that one spirit will go down and lie in the ear of all his prophets. And here are the prophets right here. And all the prophets prophesied before them. So what they prophesied? Lies. That's why you got to understand. That's why people be caught up in people that, speak very well, or they do whatever they do, this way, that way, whatever, and not realize they could be lied to. They could be lied to. And all y'all follow the same lie. You see this right here. You see, all the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah, the son of Jeconiah, had made him horns of iron and said, thus said the Most High, with these thou shalt push Syria until they be consumed. Right? This is who you got to fight at Ramoth Gilead. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper. For the Most High shall deliver it into the hand of the king. Is that the truth? Well, that's a lie. You remember, the Most High put a lying spirit in the ears of all King Ahab's prophets. That's why I say it's very important to understand spiritual, because a lot of y'all be caught up, and then you feel like you find out, wow, that was all jacked up. Oh man, that was all messed up. You gotta, oh wow, now you done learned something. Now you gotta, ain't that much you gonna learn that I'll change from the time I came into the truth. I just added to it. I mean, it's the same. I mean, some people came in this, they changed a lot of things, and people lost, man. And all of y'all look over here, look over there, look over here. Y'all gonna be scatterbrained. Y'all really gonna be scatterbrained. For real. You know what it said? And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper. For the Most High shall deliver it into the hand of the king. The messenger that went to call Micaiah spake to him, saying, behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king, without one assent. Let thy word, therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak thou good. Micah said, as the Most High liveth, even what my power said, that will I speak. And when he was come to the king, King Ahab, the king said unto him, Micah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, go ye up and prosper, and they shall be delivered into your hand. Remember, the Most High have put a lying spirit in the minds of the prophets to lie to King Ahab, that he may go up to Ramoth Gilead and be killed. But you hear what he's saying? I mean, we went to the heavenly council, and now this is on the earth is being brought forth. That's why it's spiritual. Hopefully, can I get a one? Anybody see that? Anybody lost? I mean, I can go over it. I mean, I need to go through this, Bill. You can see, because a lot of y'all people don't really look at, they don't talk about the Most. I don't talk about these things of how things operate and the spiritual world to the earth, and how things really operate. And what we see here, prime example right here. Con, all right, that one about it's 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 a prime example here that you can see that it was a console in heaven, and now it's manifest on the earth. Because he was wicked. You know, Jezebel, man. We don't look at all this, man. Verse 14. And when he was come to the king said unto him, Mike, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And he said, Go ye up and prosper. They shall be delivered into your hand. And the king said to him, How many times shall I adjure thee that thou say nothing but the truth to me? And Yahweh Shalom Mashiach Yahushua. That's what that is right there, y'all. You see it? Mark that in there. That's how you say in the name of the Most High. And when they say in the name of the Most High, that's Yah. Most High Yahweh Shalom Mashiach Yahushua. Right there. Because remember, Mashiach said, No man come to the Father but by me. You guys anything in my name, I would do it, that the Father would be glorified in the Son without any New Testament. He only had the law and the prophets to give you the understanding, but that's spiritual too. You see? Then he said, I did see all Israel scattered upon the mountains as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Most High said, These have no master. Still like the Most High. They put that in there. Mark that off. That goes back to LORD, which goes back to BAAL. Wow. It's a lot to. They have no ruler. Let them return, therefore, every man to his house in peace, right? And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, he's king of Judah, the southern kingdom, did I not tell thee that he would not prophesy good unto me, but evil? See, so he already got an attitude against Micaiah anyway. That's why he told he put him in prison. And verse 25. Then the king of Israel said, Take ye Micaiah and carry him back to Ammon, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son, and say, Thus said the king, Put this fellow in the prison and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I return in peace. So you see, he had that envy against him already. We asked him a question, but he still asked him a question, but he said he only speak evil. And Michael said, If you certainly return in peace, then have not the Most High spoken by me. And he said, Hearken, all ye people, listen, all ye people. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, we're in verse 28. So king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. King of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and will go to the battle, but put thou on thy robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself and then went to the battle. So he disguised himself like he wasn't the king, going into this war with Syrians, with Syria. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying, Fight ye not with small or great, save only with the king of Israel. That's all they, and you understand how these spirits, once these spirits of the Most High go around and start to activate, he said, hey, don't fight, don't worry about the good, the small ones, the great ones, just go after the king of Israel. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots saw Joseph that they said, it is the king of Israel. And you think that he's, you think that he's King Ahab. When they changed the robes, he disguised himself, right? It's the king of Israel. Therefore, they compassed about him to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Most High helped him. The Most High moved him to depart from him. They was going to kill him. And he cried out. And the Most High got into their spirits to make them depart from him. See that? And the Most High helped him. That's why you got to bring the Most High in everything, man. You ain't doing it on your own. For it came to pass that when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back again from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow. He drew that bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel, King Ahab, between the joints of the harness. Therefore he said to his chariot man, turn thine hand, that thou mayest carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. The battle increased that day. Howbeit the king of Israel stayed himself upon his chariot against the Syrians until the evening. And about the time of the sun going down, he died. See that? The Most High fulfilled what he wanted to do in killing King Ahab. So now, understand this. Psalm 96:5 says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, right? But the Most High made the heavens so they could worship the sun, the moon, and anything else we think of. For real. For real, for real. So here goes another case scenario. This is what's going on with these chief priests and Pharisees and all of them that said, crucify my shadow, let rub your us on our children. You know, that's what they said. So it's another scenario to show you, just showing you how spiritually, like I say, in John 4:24, it said the Most High has a spirit, and they that worship him worship him in spirit. Now stop there. I'm showing you something that's a mystery on the left side, how things operate. When you look at going into really understanding the literal we know of the Most High from the scripture. Look at Job, the first chapter. Job 1, and we're going to look at verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High, who are sons that descend from Enos, Seth's son, who was Adam's son. Enos is Adam's grandson. That's what men began to call him. I'm just talking the scriptures. Let me just go to the scriptures. Salaki. Go to Genesis 4, and I think it's 25. Yeah. Genesis 4:25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son and called his name Seth, right? For the Most High said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel. Because remember, Cain killed Abel, whom Cain slew. See? And to Seth, to him also, there was born a son, and he called his name Enos, right? It's very important in that statement here. Then began men to call upon Yahweh Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, name of the Most High. That's how you reach the Most High. The Mashiach Shai is telling us, hey, no man come to the Father but by me. You ask anything in my name, I would do it, and the Father be glorified in the Son. You ask anything in my name, I would do it. If you love me, keep my commandment, do what I say do. That's how it works. You know how scriptures just go all throughout the Old Testament, and with the Most High about Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, the how about Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Right, that's right there. Because he said, look, real quick, I'm just showing you about these wicked chief priests and all of them, the mindset, and the ones that's on this earth right now. John 1:10. He was in the world. It's my Mashiach Yahweh Shai. He was in the world. The world was made by him, and the world knew him not. Like many people don't know him now. He came into his own, and his own received him not. See, that's why they said crucified. He came to his own received him not. 2/3 of people not going to receive the real of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. You know, this is what it says. It's very important. Verse 12. But as many as received him, see, everybody didn't, receive him not. But as many as received him, gave he power. To them gave he power to become the sons of the Most High. Right? How? Even to them that believe on Yahweh about Shama Mashiach Yahushua. He just said his name. Ain't talking about his name. That's not. No, that's you supposed to already know this. These guys are scholars. You supposed to already know this. That's why we have to open up a book to learn what it is we're supposed to learn that we already knew. They already knew this. They already knew this. Jesus. That's all you need to know. Jesus. Huh? Make that make sense? No. That's what he said. And when they began to call during the time of Enos, that's when it became the sons of the Most High, because that's when they began to call on Most High, in the name of the Lord, say, to reach the Most High, to go to the Most High. He always been there. I mean, he was in the world. The world was made by him. What do you think that means? Where was he at? What was Mashiach? He said the world was made by him. Say that right there. Come on. He said, let us go down and make man in our image in Genesis 1:26. I mean, that's how they become the sons of the Most High, even to them that believe on Most High, about Shama Mashiach. So now, these are the sons of the Most High. So now going to Job 1:6. Those that believe on Most High, about Shama Mashiach, name of the Lord. Job 1:6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before the Most High, and Satan came also among them. Hear that? So Satan came among sons of the Most High, like he always do. Now you can pop up on AI, pop up on your phone, on your TV, whatever. He's everywhere. He's invisible. He's all around you. But you got them angels, hopefully, that's surrounding you, that's protecting you. But you're doing what's right. Say, hey. And the Most High said unto Satan, whence cometh thou? And Satan answered it, the Most High said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. That's to and fro and up and down in the earth. That's that cross that they made. That cross. To and fro and up and down. Is that what they do? Catholic Church have people doing that? Come on now. And the Most High said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job? You notice? You notice? Shaitan didn't ask for Job. The Most High said, have you considered my servant Job? That there was none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil. Right? Then Satan answered the Most High. I said, does Job fear the Most High for naught? For nothing? Hast thou made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and the substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand. That's key right there. Spiritually. What hand are you going to put forth? The left hand. Now, he said. He said, and touch all that he have, and he will curse thee to thy face. See? So, I thought Satan was kicked out of heaven. I thought he rebelled against the Most High, and him and his angel were kicked out of heaven, and he's doing his own thing. How come he asking permission? Permission right here. Isn't he? I would like to make. He said, put up that hand and touch all that Job have, he'll curse it to your face. And the Most High said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Most High. I'm just showing you how when you negative, when you evil, when you do the wrong thing, that's sin, then the Most High can send Satan on, point blank. And how you operate. Check out how you operate. Verse 13. Satan left his counsel with the Most High. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yeah, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell them. So what happened here? Remember the council in heaven? Don't forget about the council we had in heaven, where the Most High had King Ahab put to death at Ramoth Gilead. Everything that happened, right? So the Most High gave the lying spirit, like Satan said, put forth thy hand. Give me the permission. Direct me in what I got to do and deal with what I got to deal with Job. He didn't ask for Job. The Most High sent Satan on Job. That's what you got to see. Most people don't even know why Job was dealt with. He would not take and put Satan on someone that didn't do nothing wrong. He's upright. You could be upright. You could do whatever you want to do. You cannot be upright in your own mind, soul, and spirit. You can't do that. And that's why that goes into pride. Understand that? And that's the same spirit of envy, jealousy, pride, anger, even hatred, death. All that comes into the spirit that comes from envy. You see? So here, he got into the Savior's minds to have them kill his servants. And well, no, so this is, we haven't got to the Savior at all. Yes, he did. Saviors. He said, got into their minds. Saviors went forth from the presence of the Most High. Satan went back to the presence of the Most High. Selected. But it's his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their elder brother's house, right? And there came a messenger to Job. The oxen was plowing, the ass was feeding beside them, and the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yeah, they had slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I don't even escape to tell Job. So he got into the minds of the Sabians to have them do this. And when certain heinous crimes happen, what do people say? And people don't believe them. They say the devil made me do it. Here it is. Faces what happened. While he was just speaking, there came and also another and said, the fire of the Most High is falling from heaven, and that's lightning. And I burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only escaped alone to tell thee. So he allowed Satan to have control of the elements, like lightning. While he was just speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yeah, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell. So he's taken away all of Job's wealth, you know, and everything to hurt Job. While he was just speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their elder brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness like a tornado and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell them. So the Most High allowed Satan to control, like I say, he controlled the elements. He had a tornado come through and wipe his sons and his daughters out. Then Job arose and bent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshiped. Said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return to the Most High gave, the Most High have taken away. Blessed be the name, blessed be the name of the Most High. How you doing that? How about so much I tell shot right there. And in all this, Job said not nor charged the Most High foolishly, right? But it's amazing how you see how this works, you know, when you understand that little bit of how the Most High control everything. And let me show you, before I go back to my shot, let me show you why Job was dealt with. And hopefully it can hit home to a lot of people that think they all that, and especially that envy somebody because they have whatever they have. Job 34:5. This is why Job was dealt with. Job 34:5. For Job has said, I am righteous. How about that? See, a lot of people, they think they on top of the sky. They this, that, or third, whatever, because they learn a few things here. Come learning the truth. Now when I get to the kingdom, this is what I'm gonna do. They already, can't tell them nothing. Ask them what this mean, what that mean. You better be knowing. You know everything else. Job have said he is righteous. And the Most High have taken away my judgment. See, Job said, and it took a young man to tell Job this. He waited till all the elders got finished dealing with Job, and he came and told him that. Can't do that. Job 33:9, I am clean without transgression. Job saying that. I am clean without transgression. I am innocent. Neither is there iniquity in me. See, that's not the spirit to have. It's not the spirit to have. You want to be Mashiach, and we said, hey, look, Philippians 2:5, let this mind be in you. Philippians 2:5, which was also in the Mashiach Yahushua. Verse 7, but made himself of no reputation. Hear that? But made himself of no reputation, took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. Carry other men. And being found in the fashion of man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross that fixing had to go through. You can't exalt yourself. You can't say you're righteous. You can't do that. That's why the Most High dealt with. Somebody else could say you this, that, and the third, whatever. All praise to the Most High. Get the praise to the Most High. Especially if I can't see what I look like taking some credit for something that I ain't wrote no chapter, no verse. What am I gonna take credit for? Oh, you did a great job here. Okay, well, all praise to the Most High. Myself, and those that had something to do with this. I had to do with this. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand, brothers, man. They tell you not to fuck up. That's why. You got to humble yourself, man. We ain't made it nowhere. Where we at? Come on. That's why I'm dealing with envy. We can't get it together to not even envy each other, man. Hating on each other. Got grudges and things, done things, man. Most High might forgive, might not. You don't know. Hopefully, Mark 15. Let's go back here with my chapter. I was shouting these chief priests. See, verse 10. Pilate saying this. He's supposed to release, someone on the Passover. All this is happening during the Passover. Y'all know the holy day of the Most High, man. The most holy day of the Most High, the Passover. Us, we dealing with this. Mark 15:10. For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. That's our topic, right? Can't get no clearer than that. You know why? Because he on the left side. He knew it. They was on the left side with him. They were rolling with him. Look. They was rolling with him. They knew. They hated him. And John 11:47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees of council and said, what do we? This before this council we're looking at right here. For this man doing many miracles. Talk about a Mashiach Yahushua. That's the man. If we let him thus alone, we leave him alone, all men will believe on him. and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Thinking of that. Tell me they wasn't down with the system, Roman system. That's why they want to get rid of. Too much attention is given to a Mashiach Yahushua. He'll say, if we leave this man alone, we'll lose our position with the Romans. So wait a minute. Superpower of the earth. Mark 15, 11. But the chief priests moved the people that he should rather release Barabbas unto the murderer. And Pilate answered and said unto them, what would ye then that I do? I shall do unto him whom ye call the King of the Jews. And they cried out again, crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, why? What evil have he done? And they cried out the more, exceedingly, crucify him. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them. Delivered of Mashiach Yahushua when he had scourged him to be crucified. He had whipped him with that cat of nine tails whip, like bones in it. Every time he went into his flesh, he pulled back and pulled out flesh. And the soldiers, the Roman soldiers, led him away in the hall, into the hall called Praetorium, and they called together the whole band, whole army. Oh, straight up. And they remember, he got whooped with the chief priest. Then he got turned off to the Romans. All you got to do is look at that movie Passion. You'll see that's what happened. So these religious leaders envious against the Mashiach Yahushua. Matthew 27. Matthew 27. Same story. Matthew 27, verse 16. We start at verse 15. Now at that feast, the governor was wrought to release unto people of prison whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas, a notable prisoner that is a murderer, a notable prisoner that is a murderer called Barabbas. See that? A noble prisoner. That's why I'm pointing that out. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said to them, whom will ye that I release unto you? Barabbas or Yahushua, which is called a Mashiach. You see? That's very important. He was called a Mashiach, the Messiah, the anointed. He knew that for envy they had delivered him. Envy of him, afraid of losing their power with the Romans and the people. See that? So he knew that too. Look at Luke 15th chapter. We the people of the book, for real. Quite sure you can look at your life. If you don't have a life, you look at what's just happening, things, scenarios in Israel. It's us. Luke 15. I mean, everybody have a life, but I'm just saying as far as to relate to the different scenarios that I'm showing you, related to us today. Luke 15 and start at verse 25. No, really, it's what they call the prodigal son. And the older brother was jealous of the younger brother because the older brother stayed with the father, And the older brother he took his inheritance and he just went out and just blew it, on prostitutes and end up eating what the hogs were eating. He was feeding the hogs, end up eating what they was eating. So that's filthy but nasty, hog being that's how low he was. So let's go up a little bit from there on. Let's look at verse 17, Luke 15, 17. And when he came to himself, he said, how many hired servants of my fathers have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger, eat the thing, the food that he's feeding the hogs. I will arise and go to my father and will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. At least I can work for my father. I ain't got to eat with these hogs. He said, make me one of your servants. You see, he repented. That's repentance right there. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight this humility, and am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said to his servants, bring forth the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Dang, he didn't have no shoes. And bring hither the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. Say, hey, get the best calf, kill it, and let us eat and be merry. This my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found, and they began to be married. Now his elder son was in the field working. He out in the field working, right? And as he came and drew nigh near to the house, he heard music and dancing. How Christians deal with this? Who telling the story? How much y'all shine? He gonna tell you something that's abominable? He heard music and dancing. You hear that? Huh? He heard music and dancing. It was in there having a good time. You said, hey, what do you say, verse 20? And bring hither the fattest calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this is my son. This is my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. Now his eldest son, this we talking about Evan. It's the elder son. He been there all that time working. Now he's working the field while they having a party right now. His elder son was in the field working. And as he came and drew nigh near to the house, he heard music and dancing. It was having a party. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. Now, if it's wrong for to have music and dancing, I shall say, telling the story. And he didn't say, would that be a sin? If it's said I have music and dance, would that be a sin? Like Christians, they can't do it. Serious. And he said to him, they barbecued, they chopped up the calf. I mean, come on, the best. And he said to them, thy brother has come, and thy father hath killed the fattest calf, because he had received him safe and sound. He's back. And he was angry. So he would not go in. Therefore came his father out and entreated him. He didn't want to go in. Common attitude. That's like, children comparing themselves to another child. When he was really lost, he was gone. When you read the story, he was out there doing all kind of madness. He blew all his money. That's why he was eating, to the point he was eating what the pigs was eating. Come on. He was angry. Brother was angry and would not go in. Therefore came his father out and treated him. And he answers, he answered, he said to his father, Lo, these many years do I serve thee. Neither transgressed I at any time that commandment. I did everything you told me to do. And yet thou never gave me a kid that I might make merry with my friends. But as soon as this thy son was come, which had devoured thy living with harlots, you telling prostitutes, thou was killed for him the fattest calf. And he said to him, Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. It was meet, which is right, that we should make merry and be glad. But this thy brother was dead and is alive again, and was lost and is found. And that's how, you know, we are. Every last one was lost. And now, we have an opportunity to be found if we endure to the end in the truth. And the angel rejoice, man, one sinner coming back, you know, and operating in the truth, man. It's a joyous thing. So, but you see how the attitude that he had? Look at Proverbs 14 and 30. Proverbs 14 and 30. See, that's why this is about changing. You can't really walk around. You're not going to the kingdom. I'll tell you that. You're going to be burnt crispy. Proverbs 14:30. A sound heart, sound mind is the life of the flesh. But envy, the rottenness of the bones, you see. Envy, the rottenness of the bones. Man. To envy someone, man, you just gonna be destroyed. Ain't that like cancer? That's like that flesh-eating disease. Eat you from inside out. That's what envy will do too. Don't believe it? Try the Most High, man. He knows. He knows. Trust and believe that. Sad. Well, I don't see how, people really envy us. I come back. That's like when I look at the Willie Lynch letter and the religious instruction to the Negroes in the United States of America, right here, how they program us. Yeah, I could see it. Stockholm syndrome. You got the people that's they all against us. They're not with us. No way, shape, or form. I mean, it's just sad, but it's real. You can't deny it. That's us. Uh, look at Ecclesiasticus 4 and 4. Ecclesiasticus 4 and 4. Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from poor man. Say, reject not the supplication, excuse me, the sadness of the afflicted. Neither turn away thy face from a poor man. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, and you got to look at this because a lot of people they look at the poor, they look at those that are not, especially our people, don't let them have something. Everybody that's don't have as much as they do, they look down on them, and they look down upon it. Some people they don't care about this. I remember people on Skid Row. When I was down Skid Row, they family was filthy rich. They was filthy rich. They just decided they didn't want to deal with this. But I can relate to that. They could care less about this world, this wicked world, you know. And looking at them, their families, how they got their money, how it was dealing, how they treated people, you know, they right there living with them, you know, like a lot of y'all out there, you know, got a problem because they said some of the younger Edomites don't want to be racist like the wicked elders of the nation is. And our people the same way, man. They don't get a little something, they look down on someone, man. They're nobody because of what you think you have. Most I take anything you have away from you. You sure can't take it when you die. Like Job said, you come in the world naked, you leave out the world naked. But that high mind is something else, man. People have their consolation right here. They have it right here. This is it. They're part of that multitude. The Most High said, let perish that was born in vain. What is that? No, he's telling you. Turn not, it's Ecclesiastes 4 and 5. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee. For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him. You hear that? See, his prayer gonna be heard from the Most High. That's why these are, spiritual instructions that we have to look at that's contrary to this world. Oh, you don't have this like I got this, so you ain't as good as me. Well, you can get whatever you want to get. Some people get whatever they want to get. They don't desire a lot of things like other people. You know, when you look at what this world offers and you know what this Bible's saying, like I said, you in the world, but you don't have to be of the world. You know, it's like they want to be like, let's keep on going. You don't see. You'll see. It's going to all make sense. Ecclesiastes 14. But see, that's someone that's poor and humble. Ain't talking about poor and big-headed and think you all that. Nope. No, that's somebody that's poor and humble. He's for the Most High. And let's hear the Most High said, the Most High gonna hear him. Ecclesiastes 14 and 3. Ecclesiastes 14 and 3. Riches are not comely or beautiful for a niggard. Riches are not comely for a niggard. And what should an envious man do with money? What should an envious man do with money? He already envy. I mean, and think about it. And it's like this. The trillionaires, trillionaires, we'll deal with billionaires, don't like the millionaires. Millionaires don't get along with those that make six figures. Six figures look down on those that haven't made it up to six figures. And those that's got a little something, thousands of dollars, whatever, they look down on those that don't have what they have. That's the world we in. That's why the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. And the wicked have created the mindset of how people supposed to think. Man, look at Proverbs 14:31. Proverbs 14:31. He that oppresses the poor reproaches his maker. You can't get no clearer than that. He that oppresses the poor, they don't have as much as you do in your high mind self. He that oppresses the poor reproaches, disgraces the Most High. You hear that? He that oppresses the poor reproaches, disgraces his maker. Disgrace the Most High. But he that honoreth him have mercy. He that honoreth him have mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away, killed in his wickedness. But the righteous have hope in his death. A chance to be able to make it to the kingdom. But everybody have their own way of how they're going to try to make it to the kingdom. I see that. And the only one going to really set up righteousness on this earth is the Most High. Ecclesiasticus 14 and verse 8. The envious man has a wicked eye. The envious man has a wicked eye. Ain't no wicked people going to the kingdom, right? It said the envious man has a wicked eye. I mean, he's eyeing everything and you know, have a feeling of hatred. It turns into hatred when you see your brother come up, see your sister come up, and you're not happy for them. A lot of people are not there like that. You even got to get nothing new. It's just get something different. They don't like you. They're going to look to find, look how people, they're going to look, I got to find something wrong with him. I don't like him. Don't even know me. Don't even know the person that you envying. Really, sincerely. Come on. The envious man has a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despises men. See? A covetous man eye is not satisfied with his portion, whatever he have. Covetous man, look at that's what envy is like. He looking at what somebody got. I want what they got. They might have went to who knows? Shoot, 8 years to get their bachelor's degree, whatever. They went through a lot to be able to have what they have and to be able to be successful and still got to deal with changes. We're still who we are. We're still who we are. Still got to go through something. And when they have a chance to be at home, they try to be happy and so forth. They don't like to see you smile. Some people don't like to be happy. They want you to be sad. They want you to be down and out. Oh, woe is me. The woe is people. That's why people, misery loves company. They don't want you to see happy. They don't want you to be happy. Ecclesiastes 14:8. The envious man has a wicked eye. He turned away his face and despises men. Hear that? Despised men. Covetous man that desires things that someone else have. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. What he have, he's not content with what he do have. And the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. Just like it's the same thing over and over again. It's like rottenness of the bone, drive his wickedness just drive up his bones, man. It's drive up rottenness, make his soul rotten. They're rotten, and you can see it. It's like, ugh. Especially when you really try your best to learn it, live it, and apply how to be contrary to being envious. And you know, hopefully you don't, if you one that never had to be envied, envy somebody for what? Make that make sense, man. It makes no sense to me. I can't relate. You know, it makes no sense. Or give me a reason to make it make sense to you. Y'all got scriptures to show that it's all right to be envy. Y'all might have a breakdown on it. I think I'm about number 6 right now. I ain't finished. It's not cool. I know that. He said, my eyesight through the spirit of the Most High, I say it's not right. Verse 10 of Ecclesiastes 14. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a nigger at his table. He's a nigger at his table. Wow. Hear that? A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a nigger at his table. Nobody want to be bothered with him. He envying his own bread. And you sit there, he's gonna always come up with something to make himself highlight himself. That's why Job got dealt with. So he said he was righteous. Ain't no iniquity in me. Come on, man. People said we all are sin that comes short of the glory of the Most High, man. Come on. We know in part and prophesy in part. If that's the case, then Amashai Shai don't have to come back to teach us nothing. Do? He said we all gonna know the Most High. And everybody don't know the Most High. They don't even talk about the Most High. All praise to the Most High, and Amashai Shai didn't go and talk about whatever else, this, that, and the third, whatever. He gotta be praised, man. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Praise you, Most High. Shalom, Mashiach, call on Shakak, Shalom, Mashiach. Ecclesiastes 18 and 18. A fool will upbraid carelessly, and a gift of the envious consumeth the eyes. Yeah. A fool will upbraid carelessly. I mean, a fool gonna try and move you out the way any kind of way you can, right? It said, and a gift of the envious consumeth the eyes. Give you something. Think about it. You get somebody, they envy you. And that's sad. It's sad when you don't envy, then you don't really think about people envying you. You know, it's got to be really, really out there, because that takes you. Look, you got to look at it like this. It takes energy to be negative. So you negative, so you got to go where that envious person is to be negative. And when you're sitting back, there's so many things to do and study and learn that when you sit back dealing with that left-hand side, you rolling with Satan, then you over here trying to come here. Now you're going to be with the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua, because the book is open. But when the book is closed, you over here envying and got this spirit of jealousy and pride and envy against someone. Come on now. How you going to justify that? Most High. I always said, what my Shawashai said in Mark 11:25, when you stand before the Most High, and forgive, you are out against any. That the Most High can forgive you your sins, your trespasses. But if you don't, he ain't going to forgive you your trespasses. Now, how many Day of Atonement y'all been through? We got Day of Atonement coming up. And you sitting there envying somebody. And you went through, how many people have went through Days of Atonement, and they envied somebody during the Day of Atonement, they ought to let it go. Like they got Mother's Day. Y'all arguing with y'all mama and your daddy's day. Father's Day, right? And y'all don't get along, this, that, and the third, and Father's Day goes, happy Father's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, I love you, this, that. So this over, you go back to where you was at. But I thought y'all squashed that. I thought y'all squashed that on Mother's Day. I thought y'all squashed that on Father's Day. Same with Israel, same way. Come together for the holy days. They all happy this, that, and the third. Get up there and then talk about somebody else. Instead of enjoying yourself about what we got to deal with. This is time to deal with getting it together. You know, most I say that's a time to be married. How you be married and be envious and talk about people, this, that, and the third, whatever, 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 with attitude. Come on, man. Hey, make that make sense, man. You can't make it make sense to me. I wish you tried. I wish you tried. Ecclesiastes 20. Ecclesiastes 20 and 14. And I don't mean that pridefully at all. Because somebody might be able to, hey, come through and say something that I have to agree with. If not, then hey, you got to deal with what these scriptures are saying. Ecclesiastes 20 and 14. The gift of a fool shall do thee no good when thou hast it. Hear that? The gift of a fool shall do you no good when thou hast it. Neither yet of the envious for his necessity. For he looketh to receive many things for one. Give you some, he envious, so he looking to get something back. You know? It ain't just give it to you in love, compassion, because he love you. You owe him now. You know, how some people give you something envious, give you something. Oh, I should have never gave him that. That's why he say you a nigger at the table. Call you a nigger. Oh, shouldn't have gave him. I don't like him. You know, yeah, that this time. Remember something that when you came up one time, they ain't never let it go. That's wicked. I remember when he came up and he got this car, or he got that, he got this, you know. I don't like him because he do this and he do that. He know that Bible. I don't want to hear. I don't like him. Anything, you know. He got them glasses. Them glasses. I don't like his glasses. Trust and believe. You know, the things I hear, it mainly be all carnal for me as far as dealing with, you know, me, myself. It don't be about the scriptures, Holly. It be something that's they see that they can find that's wrong. You know, I shouldn't have a lion. I'm worshiping the lion on my headband or something. You know, whatever. Stupid stuff. Or my life being threatened. Behind what? What we going over as far as, you know, that envy, that jealousy, people hating me. Ecclesiasticus 37 and 11. Neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Right? And some women, I don't know, it's like they gotta pick somebody out. I don't like her. What's wrong with her? I don't like her. But you know that she's jealous of that woman. That's why he said, hey, neither consult with a woman touching her of whom she is jealous. Don't bring that woman's name up. Neither with a coward in matters of war. Come on. I've been there. At a fight, cats did all that talking, didn't fight at all, man. Touching her of whom she's jealous, that woman who's jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war, nor with a merchant concerning exchange. You know, he's trying to maneuver you and dealing with how you trying to lower the price, whatever. Nor with a buyer or a seller, right? Nor with an envious man of thankfulness, you know, because it's different. You know, he might, even though they smile, like I was telling people out there, say, wow, I've looked at throughout the years, you know, I noticed I just do like they smile at me like this. They just show their teeth. That's why I say, no, with an envious man of thankfulness. They ain't really thankful. People ain't thankful, you know. I'll be like, do y'all ever say please to the Most High? Huh? Thank you. The water, thank you, Most High. You know, that's what we start out with, Colossians 3:17. We said it every time, pretty much every time I start. We go on with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever you doing, word or deed, do all by some myself outside. Give me thanks, 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 thanks to the Most High. By some myself outside, man. Come on. We can't thank him enough. Look what it says. I like this verse. Ecclesiastes 37:12. But be continually with a righteous man, whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Most High, whose mind is according to thy mind, your mind, and will sorrow with thee if thou shalt miscarry, something happen. Be with a righteous man. If something happen, they're gonna feel whatever you feel. And that's something when you have to constantly, you got to deal with all kind of feelings. You got to deal with all kind of compassion and lifting people up, and they be down and come on, have faith. And then sometimes you try to make them have faith, they act like you talking about them. You getting on their case or something. You know, that's people are. Our people are. We messed up, man. We really messed up. But he give us, the instructions are right here. This is instruction manual right here. And if we follow it to the best of our ability, when the book is closed, you meditating on these things as you see things happen and everything. It's like you can relate to how the spirit of the Most High work, because if not, then you really not really growing to be able to deal with life situations. What this is about, life situations. That's what we're talking about. This life situation we're talking about envy. And you'll see what it causes. Anger, hatred, despising people, like the chief high priest was against the Mashiach Yahushua. Like people are against us as Israelites. They don't like us. Like they ain't like a Mashiach Yahushua. They despised him. I don't know who they think, when they read the Bible, I don't know who they think they really dealing with when they read the Bible. It's serious, y'all. Let's go back to some of our ancestors. Deal with some of them. Uh, I don't think we dealt with Sarah, our foremother, Hagar. Go back here and deal with that. Go to Genesis 16th chapter. We the people of the book, y'all. For real. Look, Genesis 16:1. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, her name not changed to Sarah yet. She's Sarai, and Abram's name haven't been changed to Abraham yet. Bear him no children. So Sarai, who is Sarah? Her name gonna be Sarah eventually. She hadn't got pregnant. And she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. She was a handmaid. And Sarah said unto Abram, since she couldn't get pregnant, behold, now the Most High have restrained me from bearing. See, that's how important it was, women, and having sexual intercourse, to have children. Most have, it was you felt great, you know. She said, the Most High have restrained me from bearing. So she understood that having a child would come from the Most High. I pray thee. go in unto my maid, Hagar. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened, listened to the voice of Sarai, right? And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. Check it out. She said, in verse 2, she said, I pray thee, Sarah speaking, she said, go in unto my maid, meaning have sexual intercourse with my maid, Hagar, said, it may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened, listened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abram's wife, verse 3 of Genesis, the 16th chapter, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, 10 years to get pregnant, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife. He went into her, and she became his wife. See that? That's why I went back there again to show you that. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. She got pregnant. And when she saw that she was conceived, she had conceived, she saw that she got pregnant. Her mistress was despised in her eyes. See that? Her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon me, upon thee. My wrong be upon thee. My wrong be upon you. I have given my maid into thy bosom, to your bosom. Bring forth children for me. And when she saw that she had conceived, when she saw that she was pregnant, when Hagar seen that she was pregnant, the Most High judge between me and thee, the Most High judge between me and you. But Abram said unto Sarah, behold, that maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. Yeah. Killing how how women are. Y'all want to know how they. Maybe y'all don't know how our women are. Let me show you how our women are. That's Egyptian, right? Let me show you something. When we went into captivity on the Egyptians, right? So Pharaoh had told the midwives. Well, let me read it to you. To if it was a boy child, kill it. Toss it away. Save the girl child, the women child, because the men can always have the women. Our women, y'all are the baddest things in the world anyway. So all the nations wanted y'all. They had y'all in captivity, so they know, say kill the men, kill the boy child, right? So we look at Exodus, the first chapter, verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, right? They're the ones that bring forth, help bring forth the children when a woman's pregnant. So which the name of the one was Sifra, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, so y'all wasn't on y'all backs. You was on the stool, so gravity would allow the baby to come out. See them on the stools. I'm here for a reason. If it be a son, then ye shall kill him. See? If it be a boy child, then you're supposed to put him to death. Telling these midwives, right? But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. You see? But the midwives feared the Most High and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. And the king of Egypt called And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? This is what the midwives said. The midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women. Remember, Sarah, you know, she's a Hebrew, right? And she's dealing with an Egyptian woman, Hagar. Well, they say verse 19, and the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, but they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them. Therefore the Most High dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. We start taking over, man. It was very mighty. You see, so that's why you see beautiful Sarai, whose name was changed to Sarah, dealing with this Egyptian woman. Genesis 16 and 6. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, that maid is in thy hand. Do whatever you want to do. Do to her as it pleases thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face, you see, lively and strong. And, man, I see little big women have these big old babies carrying around. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. Big old babies carrying around their hip, just like nothing. Walking down the street, dealing with it. Might have a stroller, one in their hand. Man, see, our woman is lively. She got on her case, she ran. She got away from her. Verse 7, and the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water, that's Hagar, in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence cometh thou? What camest thou? Where you coming from? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress, Sarah. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, return to thy mistress and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly. It's the blessing to the Most High. I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it may not be numbered for a multitude. These are the children. Well, and the angel of the Most High said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Most High have heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man. These are the lineage of the Ishmaelites from Ishmael, who would be the Arabs today. So he will be a wild man. This is what it said. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. See that? And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brothers. They over there in Saudi Arabia, all around there, they're around each other. And she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her, and she called the name of the Most High that spake unto her, thou power seest me. For she said, have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beer-lahai-roi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare Ishmael. Abram was 86 old. A score is 20 years old. So he was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Wow. 86 years old. And I think he was 99 when he had Isaac. So you see that envy. Then we can go to what was it? At 7. Let's look at But it tells you in Acts also. I think it's, let me see if I can find. Acts, Acts 7th chapter. Um, I'll find it. Um, anyway, I'll find it. I'll bring it. Let's look at go to Genesis 21. Let's do some more before I have to get off here. Genesis 21. Genesis 21. Let's start at verse 9. And Sarah saw the son of, here it is. Salaki. This is it right here. That's what I'm looking for. Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which he had born unto Abraham, mocking. So Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, her handmaid, which he had born unto Abraham, mocking, right? Wherefore she said unto Abram, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abram's sight because of his son. That's just, he loved Ishmael. And the Most High said unto Abram, get it right. Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad. You gotta look at what the Most High is telling Abram. He said, hey, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman, you know, Hagar, the bondwoman, and all that Sarah, her name Sarah now, have said unto thee, hearken, listen unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. You know? For in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That's why the Most High told us in Exodus 3:15 and 16, he says he's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So this is my name forever, memorial to all generations. He said, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And also of the son of the bondwoman, Ishmael, will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. He is your seed. You made one nation. Verse 14. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar. Put it put it on her shoulder and the child and sent her away. And she departed and watered in the wilderness of Beersheba. That's where I lived at, in Beersheba. And the water was spent in the bottle. And she cast the child under one of the shrubs, put him down under a scrub. And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off. She went away, sat away a little way off from Ishmael, as it were a bold shot, Because he said, let me not see the death of the child. She said, I don't want to see the death of my child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. She started crying. And the Most High heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of the Most High called her Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, you notice it's always an angel that deal with us. You got to see the spiritually. Always been angels that deal with us. What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for the Most High hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. See? So Ishmael is a great nation. Living with his brothers over there, and wherever they are, they're rich. Great nation, plentiful. They the ones started slavery. They the ones sold for father Joseph to the Egyptians, and they had us enslaved. That's why, and they are, in the end, everybody going through what they got to go through. But you notice in Psalm 83rd chapter, just going to show you just for them. It said, verse 3, it says, well, let's read from the top, because I want you to understand who they are. Keep not thy silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies, not the Most High's friend, that's the Most High's enemies, and the Most High's enemies make a tumult, or uproar, rioting. And they that hate thee have lifted up their head. So the Most High, the Most High have enemies, and the Most High, the Most High have those that hate them. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, who are the Israelites, and consulted against thy hidden ones. I mean, we the hidden ones. I have 128 different identities of who we are as a people. That's hidden. The lost sheep of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we are. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Sound like some envy to me. Salah. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They're confederate against the Most High. Who are they? The tabernacles of Edom, the biblical name for the Caucasian, so-called Caucasian race, and the Ishmaelites. See, they're right there. The enemies and the haters of the Most High. Straight up. Look at Genesis 26. This is 26. 14. Genesis 26:14. For he had possession, this Isaac, he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. See that? The Philistines envied him. Look what they did. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham, his father, we just read about Abraham and Sarah. Rich man. He had many wells, man. that they had did in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth, filled them with dirt, covered up the wells. They envied Isaac. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, as to dig the wells of water that the Philistine, being envious of him. Tell you, man, you read all those haters of the Most High, haters of my shadow, say they hate us too. You have to dig all these wells all over again, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. See, and Isaac did again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Yisik, because they strove with him. And they did another well. They strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. You know, it's like, I mean, that envy is so deep. He digging wells and they still got to fight. You got the well there, still got to fight for it. Man, it's cold, ain't it? But it's real. Let's go to our foremothers, Leah and Rachel. Uh, Genesis 30th chapter, uh, verse 1. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, Leah, because she was set up anyway. Um, go up a little bit. We look at Genesis 29 and 31. And when the Most High saw that Leah was hated, because she didn't look all that great, he opened her womb. But Rachel was barren. That's who our forefather Jacob, he wanted Rachel. But Laban set him up and put Leah in the wedding chamber instead of Rachel. He laid with her, so that was his wife. And Leah conceived and bare a son. See, that's what it was supposed to be about, not just feeling good. It's supposed to be having sexual intercourse to create children. Leah conceived and bare a son. And you know, every time you lay with a woman, she's not gonna get pregnant. But it's in the Most High's hands. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, surely the Most High has looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Most High has heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. She called his name Simeon. And she conceived again for the third time and bare a son, and said, now, this time will my husband Slaki. Ooh, Slaki Mosai. Some of myself that side. I'm tripping, man. I'm not supposed to be saying that, y'all. Salaki. Some of myself that side. Mark that out of it. That goes back to LORD, going back to BAAL. But, you know, I just put a little mark there so I remember not to replace it with something. My groom, my king. Salaki. Genesis 29:33. And she conceived again and bare a son and said, because the Most High have heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son and said, now this time will my king be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Most High. Therefore she called his name Judah. That's the 4th born son. And left bearing, and she left bearing 4 sons. So now Genesis 30:1. And when Rachel, this is the one who our forefather Jacob wanted, saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. How's she gonna tell Jacob, give me children? It's like, no, you're not shooting blanks, because she done got her sister Leah to have 4 sons. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel. And he said, am I in the Most High stead? Who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah, go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. She gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. And Jacob went in unto her. Same thing that Sarah did with Hagar, right? And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. Now that's 5 sons. Rachel still ain't had a son. And Rachel said, the Most High have judged me, and have also heard my voice, and have given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a 2nd son. That's 6 sons. And Rachel said, with great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. See? It was about, land and bringing forth children. When she saw that she wasn't getting pregnant, Leah gave Jacob Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh. And she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a 2nd son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mantrates in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, this is like something like an aphrodisiac, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mantrates. And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my groom, my king? And would thou take away my son's mantrates also? And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mantrates. It was her turn. So, hey, Jacob gonna be with you tonight. Give it on mantrates. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mantrates. And he lay with her that night. And the Most High hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the 5th son. And the Most High hearkened, listened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob the 5th son. So the Most High's in this, y'all. Y'all gonna dismiss him? The Most High hearkened, listened unto Leah, and she conceived. She got pregnant and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said, the Most High have given me my hire because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. So all these sons that Leah and Jacob are having are, well, I mean, she have now six. She had six sons, and then she had Dinah too. And Leah said, the Most High have endued me with a good dowry. Now will my king, see, I'm catching it now, y'all, dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons. And she called his name, no, Zebulon. And afterwards, she bare a daughter, the only daughter, and called her name Dinah. And the Most High remembered Rachel, and the Most High hearkened to her and opened her womb. So she conceived and bare a son, and said, the Most High have taken away my reproach. Most High have taken away my disgrace. When she called his name Joseph, and said, the Most High shall add to me another son. It came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go unto mine own place and to my country. He worked, think, about 21 years for Rachel. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service, which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Most High have blessed me for thy sake. Yeah, Most High say, that's what he say, you're going to be blessed. All these nations were blessed when we're around them. Sometimes you notice you go somewhere that you know, people start coming around, buying things and stuff like that. I've noticed it. Like he said, he was blessed by Jacob just being there, us just being there. So, but see, uh, the Most High, when you look at Rachel, who is ain't all the time the best looking woman, because Leah was teary eyed. You know, she was like, they said she didn't look as good as Rachel, but you see how many children she bare, six sons and one daughter. But Rachel wasn't right. All those years, you know, there's no way that a real man of righteousness that had been taught by Abraham and Isaac, as Jacob was, you know, he was teaching them about the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua and the commandments and everything, as far as we as Israelites. And when Laban finally let him go with his family, she took all of Laban's idols. She took his idols. And when he came looking for his idols, she put them under a pillow and put a little, you know, all his idols under the pillow and sat on a big pillow and said, I'm on my cycle. So, you know, naturally, you're going to be like, oh, okay, you know, looking at she on, that's what, you know, women had the little spot that they be at when they be on their, you know, administration every month, you know, they cycle every month. So he looked at that, okay, whatever. He chalked it off because he was like, y'all stole my idols. And she stole his idols. That's why you're looking at, most already know the future. He already know. And she died in childbirth, having Benjamin. She had Benjamin and she died. So I took her out. See, look, this is 30 months. And verse 30 said, and now, though thou wouldst needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? Remember all the gods of the nations are idols. You stole my gods. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, for adventure, perhaps thou wouldst take by force thy daughters from me. So why you leave me like that, man? He said, hey, you ain't only leave, you stole my gods. He said, I mean, I'm thinking that you're going to take my family away from me, man. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, whoever it is that you find your gods, let him not live. Not knowing it is Rachel. But when he fought and went through all them years to get before our brethren, discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. He didn't know that. And Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the two maidens' tents. So they all had their own tents. But he found them not. Then when he out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent, he going into Rachel's tent. He done went through all his wives' tent. He didn't see his gods. Now Rachel had taken the images, his gods, his idols, and put them in the camel's furniture and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, let it not displease my power that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. See, he said, I'm on my cycle. And he searched, but found not the images, because, she's sitting on them. Jacob was wroth and shy with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff. What hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge between us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have not eaten. Have I not eaten? Salaki. Man. So you can see how that envy was going back and forth with Leah and Rachel. But you see, the Most High never said nothing about it. Where the Most High said something about it, he said nothing about it. He was the one that brought forth children in these relationships. She don't give me to talk about Masha side lineage. True. I do believe Judah, that's where we come from, Judah. He met Tamar on the road. He was supposed to give her to his son. When he grew up, he didn't. She dressed up like a harlot and had sex with him, had twins. And one of them twins, Masha Shai come to. Matter of fact, just looking at Solomon, come on. How he came about. That's why I say the Most High ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts. He came from Bathsheba. The first baby that King David had with Bathsheba, the Most High killed. And Solomon was next. And the Most High loved Solomon. That's why I say, when we look at, that's why I say spiritually, we can get caught up in what it is that he's telling us, but you can't really deal with him. His ways, thoughts, not our ways of thoughts. But see, we gonna really put hey, well, I tell you. That's why I brought out the fact that what the Most High said. I don't get caught up in that, especially when it comes down to him. People be acting like, they can look at me all you want to. Better be looking at him. What does it say right here? 1 Corinthians 2:16. Answer this question. For who hath known the mind of the Most High, that he may instruct him? You brilliant minds out there. But who have known the mind of the Most High, that he may instruct him? Y'all do? Y'all doing your own way and don't even realize it probably. Since y'all say AMEN means so be it. You're going to tell the Most High this, that, or third, whatever, whatever. Then you say, so be it. They got us all twisted, man. That's, to me, that's like, because the way I ask brothers about what does it mean, AMEN, so be it, so be it, so be it. I mean, ain't no humility in that, period. But you want to instruct him. They may instruct him. Who know the mind of the Most High, they may instruct him. Hmm? And think about the ones that say they ain't under the law, they're under grace. I'm going to keep bringing it to your face till it just eat you alive. Like, just like that envy, the rottenness of the bones. That's what you're dealing with. Look, you saying you don't have to do what the Most High say do. Yet still you praying to the Most High, and grace is getting something you don't deserve to get. He's supposed to give you something that you don't deserve to get. Make that make sense? Come on, help me. You praying to someone that you telling them, everybody, confess out of your mouth. Yeah, being you can leave out of here all you want to. Look, this is real. Or combat it. You praying to the Most High, he gonna give you something that you don't deserve to get. And you're gonna tell in your prayer, so be it. What I said, so be it. Let it be done. Who hath known the mind of the Most High that he may instruct him? I don't feel no humility in that. You? Huh? But hollering and screaming at the Most High, man. Then in the end saying, so be it. Come on. Help me out here. I know a little bit of something, not much, but I know a little bit of something. I know enough to know that I read this Bible for solutions. And I'm bringing something to the nation. And I hope that, it can move you to look at being more spiritual. That's my whole objective right now, because the Most High is a spirit. And they that worship wants to worship him in spirit. And I'm showing you spiritually how this envy and these things that happen is happening. And people don't like the Most High because he don't want to kill and make a lie. They don't like him. They don't like the Most High. That's why I ain't talking about him. Y'all ain't about the Most High enough. Come on. So who have known the mind of the Most High that he may instruct him? Y'all instructing him whenever you praying to tell him he got to do whatever you say do. Ain't that instructing him? Huh? But we are the mind of a Mashiach. How about that? We just got the mind of Mashiach because we're in the New Testament. We only had the mind of Mashiach because we read it in the New Testament. These are mysteries. These are spiritual things that people are just like not even considering. Enough, I'll say. I don't know. I can't say what everybody's doing, but what I see is men. All I see is man. Israel. More than anything. People. Debates about what? People. Anybody debate about the Most High? Most High ain't the Mashiach Shai. That kind of going out there, because the people saying that Mashiach Shai is the Most High and Most High is the Mashiach Shai. But what do you think about this? Spiritually. 1 Peter 1 and 10. With salvation, powers from the authority, 1 Peter 1 and 10. The prophets have inquired and searched diligently. That salvation is power, rulership, and authority, y'all. So the prophets searched diligently who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. Grace is getting something you don't deserve to get. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve to get. Searching what? Or what matter of time the spirit of a Mashiach. We're talking about the prophets, y'all. Was the prophets in the New Testament? Or were they in the Old Testament? You know what it said? Searching what? Or what matter of time the spirit of a Mashiach, which was in them. Uh-oh. What he said, we had a mind of a Mashiach. The spirit of Mashiach, which was in them, did signify when it testified beforehand the sufferings of a Mashiach and the glory that should follow. So he prayed to himself, so he left part of himself in heaven. That's what it's saying. And he prayed to himself that he had the glory that he had with himself in the beginning of the world. But he's talking to the Most High. He said he's the son of the Most High. But he's praying to himself. Why? If he's the Most High, you got to pray to nobody. Show me where the Most High praying to someone. And the so-called white man killed the Most High? Either might say yes. What kind of pride is that? It's a yes. That's why in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary says Edom figures prominent in the prophetic scripture as a scene of great future judgments. Hold up. Yeah. Fair use. In the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it says Edom figures prominent in the prophetic scripture as a scene of great future judgments. See notably Isaiah 34, 5 and 6, Isaiah 63, 1 down. Says she is the only neighbor of the Israelites who was not, I repeat, who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. So all these doctrines and religions and so forth, man, Most High ain't dealt with that. He ain't dealing with that, man. He didn't deal with it when it was created. He ain't dealing with it to this day, man. I see some wickedness, man. They had like a head. Catholic Church had a brown head going around showing everybody, and they went to this idol of this lady, I guess I say Queen of Heaven, and put the back of that thing in the back of that head, put that head, it was like a skull, put it in the back of the head, cover it up, put it up with gold and everything. You don't know what, these statues and all this stuff, you don't know what's up in there, man. And the dang on cardinal where he was, kissed it, put in the head, kissed it, all that, man. Sick, crazy, insane. That's why I call it insanity. Crisp insanity. Y'all don't repent and come back to learn what this Bible is really talking about. Ain't gonna hold for you. Ain't no hope for you. You can't justify that. All the people around there watching them doing it, thinking they're supposed to, this is what time it is. This is what it's supposed to be about. I don't think so. And our people will look at it and say, oh, something great. Look at Laban's sons, and mind you, Leah and Rachel, they were Jacob, our forefathers' first cousins, because that's Rebecca's brother. Laban is Rebecca's brother. That's Jacob's mother. So they would be first cousins. So here go the brothers in Genesis 31 and 1. And he heard the words of Laban's sons saying, Jacob have taken away all that was our father's. And of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory. Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban. Oh, it was not toward him as before. He was different, changed. Most High said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers, to thy kindred. I will be with thee. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field, to his flock, said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before. He done changed up on me, but the Most High of my father have been with me. And you know that with all my power I have served your father. See? And your father have deceived me and changed my wages 10 times. But the Most High suffered him not to hurt me. See? So he had to deal with the Gary consciousness going against him, the sons, his cousins, there's cousins going against him. And here go uh, Rachel, the pretty one, the pretty lady. That's why that's why what Mosai told us just in Ecclesiasticus 26 and 20, 25 and 21. Salaki. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. See? And that pleasure is, you know, this is what we see in here, right? You want that beauty of Rachel. Mosai says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, desire not for pleasure. Better have a right mind. That's what it's all about. That's more important than anything, especially spiritually. Let's see what it said. Genesis 31 and 17. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. He had 4 wives and his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac, his father, in the land of Canaan, in our land that the Most High gave us. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. Wow. Thou shalt not steal. She stole. Honor thy father and thy mother. She dishonored her father. Even if it was wicked. I mean, we're idols. I mean, they Syrians. Huh. Wow. So you see, this is what we're dealing with. And right now, you know, like you look at envy, you have no gratitude, you know, your rivalry against each other, and no love and compassion. This contrary, resentment, you know, when you're supposed to be rejoicing with each other, but you have those that are resentful because of somebody coming up when you're supposed to be rejoicing with them. Pride, have no humility. All these things come from envy. Fear of missing out. It's something new that they're dealing with. Fear of missing out. You're not trusted in the Most High. FOMO. They call it FOMO. Fear of missing out. So they're gonna be doing what the crowd do. It's sad, you know. I see them bum rush. They starting to bum rush stores again. You know, desire what someone else has. They gonna get it one way or another, right? Then they be crying, want sympathy when we in the condition we in, because we broke the laws of the Most High. Look, Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 24. Nevertheless, let's read 23. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23. The Most High created man to be immortal. And we were immortal, y'all. We were made to live forever. In the beginning, everybody obeyed. For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image, made him to be an image of his own eternity. Hear that? He made us, like I tell you, in Genesis the 20, the first chapter, 26th verse, said, let us go down and make man in our image, in our likeness. You know what it's saying? For the Most High created man to be immortal. He created man to live forever. That's why everything that you can see happen on this earth until the end, including the prophecies that have to happen, that have to be fulfilled. In the beginning, you know, we were made to live forever. That's why, he said, once you eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you're not going to live a day. You're going to die. You're going to live a day. A day to the Most High is 1,000 years. And I think Methuselah lived about 979 years, something like that. That's it. Nobody lived a day. And he cut the years from living that long to 120 years. And he cut it to 70 years after that. Anything after 70, he was blessed. You see how he cut our years down? So I say, hey, Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. And they that do hold of his side do find it. You want to hold up to the devil's side? You're going to find it. You're going to find death. That's what he's telling you. That's why Galatians 6 and 7. Envy somebody if you want to. Hate somebody if you want to. Your prayer ain't even getting heard. Galatians 6 and 7. Be not deceived. Most High is not mocked. But whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So you want to be envy? Hey, you're going to reap from the Most High. Hey, it's a fearful thing. I ain't did it all night. You know I got to come. Hebrews 10:31. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man. But if y'all don't fear the Most High, you ain't afraid, you ain't scared all night. You'll find out. But he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit, what's that talking about? Shall of the Spirit reap life, everlasting life. Everlasting. He made us to live forever at the beginning, he said. He already told us in chapter 5, go over there, the works of the flesh and the fruits of the Spirit right here. We went over in previous lessons. You go back to look at, these lessons on envy, we covered this in Galatians 5:19 on down, the works of the flesh and the fruits of the Spirit. The first fruit of the Spirit is love, which is keeping of the commandments of the Most High. 2 John 6. This is love, that we keep his commandments. You see? So that's why I said, but he that soweth to his flesh, Galatians 6 and 8, shall of the flesh reap corruption. There ain't no corruption going into the kingdom. But he that soweth to the Spirit, we started with John 4:24. For the Most High a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. But I stopped that spirit, and we went over some spiritual things. Tonight. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. And that's When you look at Galatians 5:19, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings. That's what we're dealing with. That topic: envyings, murderers, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not, I repeat, shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. You do all them things, you ain't going to the kingdom. Straight up. You got right there, 21. Envyings shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. But the fruit of the Spirit is love. And we know love is the keeping of the commandments, y'all. 2 John 6. These are the things y'all should really, try your best to remember. Because people say love is, they only think love is compassion and whatever the world is really, bringing about. But love, first and foremost, is this. 2 John 6. And this is love. Can't get no clearer than this. That we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws that we watching and looking at and learning, living, and applying our life right now. And when you have the commandments and doing the commandments, applying the commandments in your life, you will have the fruits of the Spirit. With joy, you can have joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Because you're going to be, first thing it said, what? You're doing the law. So how is there no law that you're going to be able to deal with that you're not doing, that you're already doing? That's why the first thing it says of the fruits of the Spirit is what? Love, which is the keeping of the commandments. You operating correctly so that there is no law that no one can bring on you because you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's why I go back to 1 Corinthians 2 and 15. 1 Corinthians 2 and 15. Getting there just one. 1 Corinthians 2 and 15. But he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. You see that? But he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. For who hath known the mind of the Most High, once again, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of a Mashiach. That's why he told us in 1 Corinthians 3:23. And ye are Mashiachim. And Mashiach is the Most High. I mean, that's spiritual. It goes right along with John 14:6, man. This is spiritual. And it's nothing new. It's what everybody had to deal with, like we seen in the Old Testament. Yahweh Bashama Mashiach Yahushua. Here it is right here. He's telling you. John 14:6. Mashiach said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the way to show you how to follow the truth. We got to define the truth, class. Psalms 119, 142. That righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and that law is the truth, right? So it says, hey, Mashiach said unto him, I am the way to show you how to follow the commandments of the Most High, to show you how to follow the laws of the Most High. That's going to lead to everlasting life and the life. He said, hey, no man come up unto the Father but by me, right? So he's telling you that there's no New Testament when he's saying that. There's only the law and the prophets. That's why the prophets had what? The spirit of a Mashiach. Come on. Take a rocket science and figure this out, y'all. It's just, if you're not spiritual, you're not going to see it. Ask the Most High to help you. Because it is what it is. And it's real. It's real. It's real and they real. Real as real could be. I'm going to have to, because we're going to have to continue this because I still got a lot to go. I still have a lot to go on this. I ain't finished. I want to deal with some more principles of it. So give a like to the lesson if you can. I appreciate it. It helps somewhat, I hope. It's limited. I know that I'll probably get from them out there because they don't want us to come back to the Most High. That's the whole thing. If you don't remember anything, just know that the whole plan of the elite is keep us from the Most High. And the closer we get to the Most High, the more. Let me show you something. Before I go. Ooh, that's the Most High box. Ooh, that's the Most High box. Wow. I just said, let me tell you something. Y'all turn that Bible and go right there. Come on now. Knowing I got to go. Psalms 102 and 18. These kind of things, all praise the Most High. When he show up and show out like that, it might not be nothing to y'all, but it's something really important to me when I know when you turn and you just look at this right there, bam. This shall be written. This is Psalms 102 and 18. This shall be written for the generation to come, y'all. We that generation. And, like I said, I'm giving the future and the present so we can get ready for the future. So you got more opportunity to be with the future from working from the present to the future. If you understand what I'm saying. This shall be written for the generation to come. And the people which shall be created shall praise the Most High. You hear that? The people that shall be created shall praise the Most High. And that's what I'm looking at. Wow. Who really just praises the Most High? Huh? I mean, really praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Wow, some of us out there shot. Who's really doing that? Often you hear it. I'll leave you with this. Take this to your king. Take this to your leader. Take this whoever. Tell them, make it mean something different. You what it said? This shall be written for the generation to come. We that generation that came, y'all. And the people which shall be created shall praise the Most High. Come on. Better recognize you. Ecclesiastes 43:29. Most High is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power. Hear what he said. When you glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as you can, he's the only one going to get us out of this madness, set righteousness on this earth for everybody. And y'all going to still deal with us? Ain't no man going to save us. Come on. We gather ourselves together to exalt the Most High. I'll show him myself that was shy, man. Y'all know what to letting the Most High be initials. And y'all saying all praises. To who? To whoever teaching you? All praises to you. No, don't praise me. What the angels do? When man try to praise them. Bow down to an angel, what they do? No, don't praise me. They was like, praise the Most High. You know why? Because they before the throne of the Most High, with fear and trembling. They scared before the Most High. And y'all think y'all taking the Most High light, man. What is that? The Most High is terrible and very great and marvelous in his power. When you glorify the Most High, exalt him as much as you can, for even yet will he fire see. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength, and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. That's right, man. People that's gonna critic gonna praise the Most High. Shoot, I don't want to praise the Most High, man. I ain't about it. You say whatever, bring it. But I digress. I love this, and I really appreciate y'all being with me and enjoying the Sabbath with me. I say, Kwam Most High, the Yahweh, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Kwam Mashiach Yahweh Shai, our anointed Savior, and Kwam Yasharala. With that, I'll be on tomorrow at 1:30. We have Shield of Wisdom, Most High Ratzazawan, Most High Will. Specific time, 2:30 Mountain Time, 3:30 Central Time, and 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So join us right back here again in a few hours from now. All right. And with that, the water again for joining me. And Shabbat Shalom. All praise to the Most High. And I'm out. Shalom.